has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out. The bad seed, the broken, and the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake it up, Snoopy, along with the prop master of ceremonies, Carver High this afternoon. You've got Mafia running it with Luke, I am your father. At C2C on a Where Do You Hurt midweek Wednesday. Good to have you with us. The lineup, Morency styling from Vancouver this very hour, a double shot. Plus, listen to this. The rest of the way, you got the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live from Toronto, talking President's Cup. I think I got it right. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, our boy Stewie. That's Keith Stewart from Read the Line, an unbelievable golf bettor. And then, of course, the one and only Smiley Kaufman in the final hour styling, doing his thing. All with Carver High today, talking golf, making you money. We got Brian Dayball today, a little Seattle-Houston. Does it matter? No, because Houston won their fourth straight West Crown last night. They were drinking all night, and they're still leading today, thus proving you can drink and party and still be successful in life and sports. Everyone keeps telling me that you can't drink after a game and do well the next day. I hereby say I can drink 50 rums and sweat all day and then get sick. But I still drank the 50 rums and went to the game and had a good time. Right now, 1-0 Astros. All they do is win the West. We told you on Coast to Coast they'd win the West when they were 10 games back, that they would still win the West, and they did. Last night, Carver High, you know, they won. Braves beat the Mets. Here we go. I just have this really bad feeling about the Mets in Atlanta this weekend. That they're going to choke like they always do. I don't want that to happen, Mafia. D-backs lose, Royals win, Twins lose. And then we're going to be talking about the Cowboys and Giants. I heard today, just moments ago, in fact, from another individual who is clearly smarter than all the rest of us, and that is never wrong. I know a lot of people like that around here. Never wrong. Just constantly winning bets. Never talk about their vig and all their losses. Just nothing but wins. But here's the deal. A guy just said, I heard him, that the Giants have absolutely no chance tomorrow at all, zero chance to win against the vaunted 30-year drought of the Cowboys and all of their success. The funniest team in the world, the Dallas Cowboys, boy, they sure get a lot of money and success for a team that never wins anything that matters. I mean, the last time they won a Super Bowl, Jerry had his sanity. He was sane back then. Now he's just insane clown posse. But they're going to win tomorrow. The Giants have no chance. In fact, I think for the people in Florida getting hit with a hurricane tomorrow, Carver High, they should cancel the game because the Giants have no chance.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. Indeed, here on Coast to Coast. It is a good Wednesday with some afternoon games. And yes, the Giants and the Cowboys will start week number 4 tomorrow night. We will get to all of it. Victor Caratini had the RBI single for the Astros that put him ahead. I'm excited for the Golf Wednesday, as you mentioned, because the President's Cup begins tomorrow at Royal Montreal, which is where they will be for the President's Cup.
Wasn't Morency a member there? He got thrown out of that club, but he was a member.
At one time, he was thrown out there. But they are going to actually, next hour, we'll get the pairings for the first session tomorrow, which is the 4-ball. So we will see who will be facing who on the opening day of the President's Cup. Very exciting, and we have all of our regular Golf Wednesday guys here with us to get us set up and ready to go. A couple of them from there, actually, too. Keith's there and Smiley's there at Royal Montreal to kick things going. Astros are winning 1-0 on the Caratini single. Now, you said the Braves and the Mets about how it never goes well for the Mets, and this is going to be – well, they might not have to worry about that, Scotty, because you mentioned a hurricane stopping games. It's going to stop the Braves and the Mets tonight and tomorrow night. Now, they haven't made this official yet. I honestly don't know what they're waiting for, but they ain't going to play a baseball game in Atlanta. It is pouring there right now, and it's supposed to pour all through tomorrow, which is going to put MLB in a tough spot. It sounds like if they cancel both games, they're going to have to come back on Monday and play a doubleheader if necessary. Remember, there's a lot of if necessary things here. Diamondbacks keep losing. The Braves play the Royals this weekend. The Mets play in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Maybe things are wrapped up by Monday and they don't have to do this, but I don't think they're playing tonight and tomorrow, Scotty, and they're going to have to be waiting this one out.
Yeah, I think you're right. And as you know, I'm a big fan of hurricanes and wars on television. I think hurricane footage is fantastic, watching weather people get slapped around by Mother Nature for our pleasure, viewing-wise. Magnificent. On top of that, I did want to say, because I'm a creep, that I feel that if it hits in Gainesville and Tallahassee, I really don't have a problem with that. I mean, God-fearing people, they deserve better, but as far as the Knowles and Gators, I really don't care what happens to them. And I'm just glad that Miami looks like it's going to avoid this one, and it's going to hit with all those hillbillies instead. We got to make sure the Canes are in perfect running order. Mario's boys are grease lightning. Can't have these, invalids and these hillbillies and these backward-ass fools that go to that overrated school, Florida, that no one can get into because they only want hot girls to go there, which is a really smart thing when you think about it. And then Florida State's just really a redneck school, isn't it? So I'm glad it's centering there, and I don't have to worry about it with my great football team. How's that sound for being a creep today? I don't really care. I like watching hurricanes level everything. Trees bending and snapping, garbage cans flying down the street. I've lived through hundreds of them, including Andrew, and you've lived through some big ones here in New York. We've seen it all. The subway's flooded. There's nothing better than watching that guy on Weather Channel. What's his name? Cantelli. What's his name? I can't remember his name. He's real famous.
Jim Cantori.
Cantelli. I thought Cannoli. All I know is he's great. He's out there getting pelted. He's like, I can't believe the wind is sheer. It's pelting my face. I'm sideways and the wind is around 110. Cat 5.
Well, hopefully everybody's going to be all right with that. That hurricane's going really the same spot where it hit me when I was in Disney 2 years ago, right, going right across the middle there from west to east when I was there for Ian 2 years ago, and they had to shut Disney down. That was a tough one for a couple days there. So we have I'll go through all the baseball for tonight as well. Braves did beat the Mets last night. What does that mean? They are a half game back of Arizona. They are one full game back of the Mets now. And like we said, I don't think we'll see games there. I don't know what Arizona's doing, Scotty. They've gotten blasted by the Giants the last couple of nights, and they're in big trouble, mister. That's for sure, with the way that they've been playing lately. After it looked like they were a no doubt about it lock to get in, suddenly that's not the case anymore. I know who is in. San Diego with the triple play to end the game last night against the Dodgers. Only two back in the NL West now. Royals did win. Twins lose. Twins are in trouble. They're 2 games back of both the Royals and the Tigers. They need to get something going tonight against the Fish at home in Minnesota. We'll start all the football for this week as well. You mentioned the Cowboys and the Giants. We've got a few others. I got Tomlin today, as always, on a Wednesday.
What about the UNLV quarterback? He quit school
because talk about
he
him.
Said they ripped him off. He wants his NIL money.
Well, look, there's obviously a lot. He was allegedly promised $100,000. The UNLV school and the boosters say that's not the case. There's a lot of he said going on, but the bottom line is he's leaving. He's not playing for UNLV anymore, and that changes them drastically.
Who cares about him? No one's ever heard of him. I look great today. Honestly, I'm back to being the best here.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage every night at 10 on SportsGrid TV, all of our TV stations that we're on across North America, all the streaming networks, all the radio stations, satellite radio, Sirius XM channel 159. So don't miss that, but you can catch them here if you can't stay up past your bedtime. So you just watch them on C2C. It's like getting a condensed version of Rage. It really is. It's a special hour for people that pass out or that just naturally can't stay awake past 10 o'clock. Last night, I was not doing well, and I literally went to bed at 8:30. 8:30 is a new low for me, Gabe. 8:30, that's when we go for our first drink at 8:30.
You're
we
getting
don't
into
even have dinner
Angela
till 9.
Lansbury, Murder, She Wrote territory now. You're going to go to bed after watching Matlock.
Is it true that you got thrown out? Just say it is. You got thrown out of that golf club in Montreal. They're having the President's Cup. You used to be a standing member, and then one day you argued with a couple of guys on a tee box and told them what you thought of them, and that was the end of your golfing days in Montreal?
Even worse, they never let me on the grounds, actually. It's funny. I've never been there, and it's a beautiful golf course. It really is like a world-class golf course. But all kidding aside, I used to be on a radio station that was like every second sponsor we had was like a golf course, right? AM radio, local golf courses, and golf was booming like 20 years ago, right? You know, the Tiger Woods era and all that. And like the GM of the radio station was like a big golf guy. And on his desk, Scott, he used to just have like a stack of like, you know, free rounds of golf like at every place. And he always used to give me like the lower tier places. And other people were going to like, the Royal Montreal Golf Club and some of these other spots. And, I told him, I said, dude, I'm kind of getting tired of you sending me to these like drunk municipal courses all the time. Right.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'll be honest with you. There's no way in hell I trust you going to the Royal Montreal Golf Club. So I have a really funny story though, Scott. This is to be quick about golf. All right. This is really funny. So I used to be the host of the Montreal Canadiens postgame show, a Canadiens postgame show. So after the show, the Canadiens were, they were an average team that year. And Carl Dykhouse, nice guy, the defenseman on the Canadiens. He had a rough night. And people in Montreal are pretty hostile. So they're calling in on the show and stuff like that. And they're like, Carl Dykhouse sucks. He's the most overpaid player in the league. He's terrible. And I'm piling on a bit too. And, we're ripping him pretty good. I didn't know, Scott, he was in the room next to me. He was coming on live in studio on the show after. So I ripped the guy, and, it was all in good fun. It was all radio type of stuff. I walk out, and there's Carl Dykhouse with a beer in his hand. And I'm like, oh, wow, hey. And he goes, oh, your callers are pretty lively, huh? And I said, you know. And he goes, he goes, that last jackass that called got something wrong. He said that I'm overpaid at $2 million. He goes, I make 3.5. He goes, I actually make $3.5 million. And he starts laughing, and he tells me, he goes, no, I like your show. He goes, you're cool. I get the shtick and stuff. He goes, you know, it's all good, bro. Lo and behold, Scott, a couple of months later, I'm on a golf course, really playing slow with a bunch of buddies, and we're arguing with each other. We got money. We're sucking. We're spraying balls. We're smoking, we're drinking. You know what I mean? We're a mess. And there's a group behind us that are like yelling at us a bit. Like, hey,
giving you the business.
Get out of the way, guys. If you guys suck, get out of the way. Because it's a nice golf course, right? We're slowing down a group behind us. Finally, the group behind us tees one off, Scott. Bing. Anyone who knows golf, like that's when people get frustrated behind you. Bam. They're like, we're shooting anyways. So this guy steams a drive, nearly hits us. Cart rolls up, Scott. It's Carl Dykhouse. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, my God, it's effing you again. And this time he wasn't as friendly. He goes, hey, they're really slowing us down. One of the guys I'm playing without missing a beat tells him, you know, you guys really suck. And he starts ripping the Canadians and stuff. And, yeah, we were never invited back to that golf course. And it got back to the GM. He goes, this is why I don't send you to these golf courses. I heard you got into it with the Montreal Canadiens the other day.
So let me ask you, you're legendary there. Was it hard for you to go to all points, Toronto, New York, Vancouver, wherever, where you've all, LA, been huge everywhere in the business, but does it burn your ass that it's not Montreal? Because I think one day you weren't here, and we were doing something about how you're like the third most famous guy in the history of Montreal, above a bunch of hockey players and everybody else. Does it burn you? Does it bother you at all? I've never asked you that.
Well, you know what? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We won. We were voted the most popular sports personality in the city.
Right.
It was really funny. The Montreal Expos put it up in the clubhouse. Vladimir Guerrero. I beat Guerrero. And he came up to me and he goes, how do you beat me? Who are you? What do you do? And he started because someone told him that's the guy, right? But I got to thank Montreal. Montreal really, made me in the early days with sports rage. You know what makes me sad, Scott? I don't really miss it, to be honest. New York, LA, Montreal's a great city. But the death of Montreal sort of happened, Scott, when the Expos left.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean? It just is. You're not a major league city anymore. You got hockey in the CFL. Montreal's hockey in the CFL. So does Calgary. So does Edmonton. All right. Montreal used to be like the city of champions. Montreal Canadiens winning Stanley Cups. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Scott at Olympic Stadium. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Great, big Montreal, right up there. Neither boxer's from there, but we're going to go to Montreal because we know we're going to sell 50,000 tickets there for this fight. And, the Expos leaving and the political turmoil there, that's what makes me sad, that the city isn't as thriving from a sports perspective. You want to go get wasted and party, you're not going to find a better city in North America, I'll tell you that. It's an awesome town.
Yeah, I've been there a lot, and I remember a couple of things. I was in Montreal for Mafia's wedding, and then it's a really great city. And then the other thing I remembered was calling games at the Bell Center. Now, remember, it's the only thing that matters there, in my opinion.
They say they have the best hot dogs in the league there.
It is so unbelievable how big it is, hockey in that town. It's out of control.
It's a religion.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. Ready? I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Morency, my thing was so I really liked being in the NHL I covered the league for years and, was at every game everywhere. But then I got to do the play-by-play with the Thrashers, which was like a prison sentence. But my point being is that when I got to go around the league, it meant something to me. Like, going to the Foster Hewitt broadcast booth in Toronto, going to the Montreal, going to all the great hockey cities in the NHL. There's a few that are great hockey cities that really stand above all the others. And I think Montreal is the head of the class. They have, I'll never forget, you go in, and this was not even the Forum, right? This is the Bell Center, which is their new building. It's been around like 30 years now, but at the time it was new. And they have they have a Hall of Fame in the Bell Center, and you can walk through there and look at all the greats that have ever played there. And meanwhile, when I was calling games there, you could smoke right in the building, and everyone was smoking. And you remember, you'd be at the game, and there'd be smoke in the seats, and people just partying and drinking beer. And the newspapers, oh my God, I'd get up in the morning to do a game day. Who needs to go to practice? Go read the 50,000 articles on every game that they write about the Canadians. There's nothing like it I've ever been around and experienced. For Olympics, anything. I've done it all. But Montreal for hockey is better than Saks.
Yeah, there's something special about it. It's very similar to Yankee Stadium, right? You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have the original, like the Montreal Forum was the Mecca, but you're right. You feel the history. You see the banners, you feel it. The Bell Center, not so much. It's one of these cookie cutters, modern arenas. But one thing I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't just do a replica of the Forum. Right? You know what I mean? Like build a new one, kind of like what Yankee Stadium did. They built a new one, whatever. It's more modern, but it's basically the same damn thing. Doesn't have the same feeling. But that's what I don't get about it. But you're right. There's next level. And like I said, it's very Yankee Stadium-ish, in which you've got Maurice Richard and Guy Lafleur. You got statues outside. You feel it. Like if you're a hockey fan, you know what I mean? You just, you get goosebumps basically around the arena. And it's just one of those deals. You can't top it. The buzz outside, you get that at the Garden. You know what I mean? Like the buzz, Scott, outside the Garden before a Knick game with the scalpers and the fans and just the symphony of it all. Like the guys selling bootleg T-shirts.
What was the Toronto? So the Maple Leaf Gardens had remember the owner sat down at ice level in a box in a little window
Ballard.
In the corner. And people said, when I was there, and I fell for it, like, because I love hockey, and you guys start telling me there's ghosts in the building. I'm like, all right, I'm down with that. So when I was in LA, they said, yeah, there's ghosts on that Queen Mary. I said, all right, I'm down with that. Let's go stay on the Queen Mary. I want to see some effing ghosts. Are there ghosts in the Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens? Like, they still play there at the Marlies.
Well, they believe the ghost were the ghost of past Canadians, right, of the success that the Habs used to get in Don Cherry's head. Toronto is haunted. Is it cursed? I don't know, right? But that's another story. But, how Ballard was literally one of the worst owners in history. Like, he's right up there with Mark Schott. You know what I mean? Like, he's bad. He was a bad person. He was cheap. He was mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they used to stay in motels, the Leafs. You know what I mean? Like $15 night, not hotels, but motels
with bed bugs.
Yeah, like
they
haven't won since '67 either.
So I've gone to the Hall of Fame in Toronto in that mall. That's the cheesiest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. But I go there because I love hockey. I've been there 20 times. I'm like, come on, we're gonna go get ripped off.
It is strange.
$75.
You go down an escalator. And there's like a Tim Hortons and there's like a post office. It's like, I went in there the first time too. I'm like, where's the Hall of Fame? I see a donut, Tim Hortons, and I see there's like a shopping center. Like, go down the hall. And like you enter this. It is nice when you're inside.
The one thing I did when I was there, I took a picture of standing with Guy Lafleur's and Robinson's jerseys and I have no reason whatsoever to root for the Montreal Canadiens.
He's my favorite player of all time, Scott. Guy Lafleur.
How do you not get a picture with Guy Lafleur, in his he's got a little, cell there, whatever you want to call it, where they have his jersey and his face. He's skating with his hair and no helmet. And Robinson, are you kidding me? Like, that's as important to me as Lemieux and Yager, Dryden, all of it. It's crazy.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take. I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
So the Giants have no chance at all tomorrow, is what I've been told by people that know more than us about football. It's really baffling to me how people think that the Dallas Cowboys are so good. I think it's because they pay Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb so much GDM money. You give them all that money and they don't win, you got to have something wrong with you. Like, there's got to be a way to run, in my view, and I think there's some teams that know how to do it. Pittsburgh's always been, the Rooneys have always been flat out cheap. They're market value. That's it. You're not getting some big giant contract from them. It's not happening. Mike Brown, he doesn't want to pay Chase. He only paid Burrow because he's the star quarterback with frosted tips, and he's got 15 nicknames, and he wears expensive sunglasses and does red carpets with no back to his suit. He deserves the money because of his image, but he doesn't win either. So just so we're clear, he did not win the Super Bowl. And to be clear, he's just not winning again this year. We hear how great he is, but there are teams that you pay too much money for talent, and obviously that's where you want to play is Dallas. If you play for Dallas, they're worth $10 billion, and Jerry Jones will give you money even if you're not good, because that's how they roll in Texas. Everything's bigger.
Everything's bigger, and yeah, I saw that clip too. They got no shot. No shot.
No shot.
Tomorrow night.
Games,
no shot whatsoever. Not whatsoever. Good head coach he was too, that guy. So the Cowboys and the Giants, let's start there. We'll do Daniel Jones first. Of course, the recent history, Scotty, has not been very good. How about last year at Giant Stadium, week 1, 40-0. The Cowboys beat the Giants. How about later in the year at Jerry's World? 49-17. 89-17 combined over the two games. Daniel Jones very aware of the Cowboy dominance over G-Men.
I think, I've, played more, seen more, I think, studied and improved. So obviously didn't go great last time, but we're confident. It's a new team. We're a new team. They're a new team, and we're excited for the opportunity.
Yeah. So we could do the same thing here real quick. Green Bay scored 48 against them, and the Saints scored 44 against them. If they're so mother Ferrell good, all they do is get attention for no reason. The greatest, they're now really the greatest playoff flop team in the league. When you go as many times they go and don't win, to me, it's hilarious. And then, so they beat up the Giants. What does those two games have the Sam hell to do with this game tomorrow night besides absolutely nothing? I go back to the Bob Knight line. Put on your game face. We got a big game.
You got to put on your game face. There it is. That's the put on your game face.
What does anything have to do with tomorrow? You have no idea what's happening tomorrow. Let me tell you something, especially in sports. In life, you know nothing about what's coming around the corner tomorrow. You just think you do. In the NFL, I'm certain of one thing. I don't have the stones to say what that guy said. They have absolutely no chance whatsoever. And then he'll go on the air and tell you he had it right all along. It sounds like some of my friends. Never wrong. So I'm telling you, the best thing for me, health-wise, is to, not talk about teams having no chance ever when everyone's making millions of dollars playing professional football. They are very even, these teams, all of them. No one thought the Saints were going to put 44 on the Cowboys. In fact, the entire circuit contest was obliterated with a Cat 5 hurricane that day called the Saints. So everyone's an expert until they get sucker punched in the orbital and have your face smashed in. Everybody knows everything. You know nothing. I don't know anything either, but I know that these glasses look good on me.
Yes, they do look good on you. Let's go to Mike McCarthy next. Of course, the Dallas defense, as you just mentioned, has been much maligned here over the first couple of weeks. They have gotten, frankly, smashed by both the Ravens and the Saints the last couple of weeks at home. Some of their players, Scotty, have been a little outspoken about the last couple of days about what needs to change, what they need to do. A little bit more emotion, following the game plan, things like that. Micah Parsons was one of them. So Mike McCarthy
he's another one with his big mouth. This guy never stops talking.
He loves the podcast.
He never
loves running to that podcast.
He never did that at Penn State. When he got that money, and I've always said, it changes everybody. And people are like, no, it doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. It changes everybody. That kid was humble, and he was a great player at Penn State. But when he turned to the Cowboys, I don't know what happened to him. Like, he is, in fact, he cares more about that stupid podcast of his. Here's a newsflash for you. Spew News. There's 75 billion podcasts. Okay? You talk about, you know what it is to me? Toilet paper. There's too many of them. Can we just have Charmin? They set the standard. Can I get a toilet paper that I don't, tear me up? So podcasts. You know what he should do is focus on that football career that's not doing anything lately. Where's he been lately playing defense? He's been doing that podcast is what he's been doing. Talking bad about everybody else except himself. And then he said, I saw him the other day, nobody around here wants to win as much as I do. I wish some guys cared about the game like I do. Yeah, sure you do, dude. Why don't you go tape another 5 shows? Yeah, Ferrall on the Bench podcast takes 10 minutes. But Mafia said to me one day, can you cut it to 5? It's a pain in my ass.
That was, of course, one of the things he did say. He was one of the vocal guys giving guys the business on the sideline on Sunday as they were getting run over by the Ravens. Here's McCarthy. As you'll see, Scotty, he wasn't very happy about being asked about changes on defense or what some of his players think. Here's Mike.
I know you said you guys don't have a ton of time for corrections this week, but with Jordan Lewis talking about details, Michael Parsons last night talking about accountability, how do you kind of work those conversations in this?
Pretty dramatic there, Nick. I tell you must practice that one. Jeez, I mean, hey, Thursday schedule. I mean, that's what we're on. I mean, it's we didn't win the game, so I think that's part of where we are. I mean, so. Yeah, I think they do a good job of answering your questions. It's emotional after the game, so I'm not ever going to referee emotion on the field or after a game.
All right.
Once again, it's interesting how easy it is, and it always has been easy to get under professional coaches' skin. I mean, I'm really good at it. I can make someone snap in less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes, I can make a guy throw me out of the press room for the remainder of the season. I have been thrown out of multiple Major League Baseball clubhouses. I called Barry Bonds an asshat to his face and threatened him. It's like grabbing bats in the clubhouse. I'll hit you. I'll hit you because you're such an ass. He was the biggest jerk since his dad. Can you imagine that household growing up with those 2 asshats and the woman that had to put up with those 2? I mean, honestly, what did the world do to deserve the Bonds man? I don't know where this started, but when I start talking about people I don't like, it always goes back to them. But I'm telling you, it's so easy to get under coach's skin now. It's just like one question and they snap.
Amazing. It really is. CeeDee Lamb also apologized for his outburst on the sidelines on Sunday. He also was yelling and screaming at everybody.
I didn't notice.
5.5 is 5.5.
I didn't notice because he hasn't done anything since he got all that money. He doesn't catch touchdowns. He apparently throws temper tantrums. I didn't know. Really, is he still on the Cowboys?
He's still on the team. I know it's already over with, but they are 5.5-point favorites with a 45.5 total. I like the over. That's it for me right now.
I'm surprised that we're going to even talk about this tomorrow or
it's
Friday
over
when the results come in. The games should be canceled.
Done deal.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. Brady, I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
One of the things we do every day, 60% of the time, every day, we have Mike Tomlin on 100% of the time. And it's getting early, late, that kind of thing. We ought to have Mike Tomlin every day. And there's a guy, have you seen the guy that imitates him on X, the fat black dude that imitates him? He's kind of good at it. He's really good.
I'll have to check that out. I have not seen that yet, but we always love Mike Tomlin here. And we usually play him Wednesdays and Fridays because, of course, he does his weekly press conference on Tuesdays. One of the few guys in the league, one of the only guys in the league that does it on Tuesday. Everybody else does it on Wednesday. And we always go into the weekend taking something else from Mike, words of wisdom as they head into this week's game. So, of course, Scotty, 3-0 start for them. But everybody still wants to talk to Mike about what? Is Fields your starting quarterback? He has started the first 3 games. Russ has not been healthy enough to get involved yet. You'd think 3-0, they're still pressing Mike to say that Fields is now the starting quarterback. Mike's not going to do that.
Because there's no need. I explained to you the variables of the week. It has not changed. He's going to walk in this building with that mindset tomorrow. And so I really, there's no need to. Sometimes in this business, man, there's a myriad of complex decisions that need to be made. I've learned to make them when it's appropriate and it's not necessary as we sit here right now. When Russ gets to an appropriate point of health and we have a decision to make, I'll make it and I'll announce it and I'll be really transparent about it. But until then, I don't care how many ways you guys ask me, I got no intentions of making the decision that's unnecessary at this juncture.
He has got this job locked, sealed, and delivered down pat. He is in control of the Pittsburgh Steelers and no one else, including their GM, Omar, whatever his name is, Khan. I can't keep track of all these people that don't matter. The only one that matters in Pittsburgh is Mike Tomlin. And it's funny because I go there to games and I hear these fans, when they lose, they blame Tomlin. And no one else, ever. They blame him. And these people are fascists. I mean, they are something else in that town. Believe me, these steel mill guys, they mean business. And they are not nice to anyone that really isn't like them. You know what I mean? They're blaming him. He's black, everything else. They got the whole thing going on this guy. Believe me, every time they lose. And meanwhile, he is just absolutely taking a leak on all of them. He runs that football franchise, and he's 77, 78 games over 500 in 17, 18 seasons. That is stunning, that record. You can't fire a guy like that, even if he doesn't win in the playoffs, because he did win in the playoffs. He did win a Super Bowl ring. So You know, he's another guy that has one, and it's not enough for people. You got to have 7 like Tom Brady, or be on the TB12 diet, or you just will be insignificant and not matter at all in the citizenry.
The Steelers did also sign some secondary help today. Former first-round pick cornerback C.J. Henderson to the practice squad. The Steelers will take their 3-0 record into Indianapolis on Sunday, where they are 1.5-point road favorites. This totals 39.5. Of course, the Colts 1-2. They got their first win last week against the Bears.
What a great airport they have there. 10 minutes from the stadium, 10 minutes from the city, in and out. No one's ever there. They got all the best restaurants and bars, and the bars are open early. You can go to a morning flight and drink Bloody Marys until you're hammered. Whatever, mimosas, whatever, whatever floats your boat. And you can have pancakes. The Pacers Clubhouse, they're serving it up in there. Always a great evaluator of airports. Pittsburgh, another airport that's fantastic, sans the fact that it's 30 minutes from the city, which is a drag. So it fails to compete with Indianapolis. As far as the Colts go, everyone keeps telling me Richardson is the second coming of Jesus Christ himself. I've yet to see that, and I hope the Steelers go into Lucas Oil and beat them like the last time they were there on a Monday night. I was at the game, and it was fun. I sat with all these Colt fans listening to how wonderful they are the entire game, complaining about the refs as the Steelers beat their ass.
The Steelers did beat their ass. I like the Steelers this week as well here on the road in Indy against the Colts. A lot of people like the Steelers. They're going to be one of those very public plays from what I see. 78% of the
They might lose because of it, Mike.
Very possible. Very possible. And everybody does love that airport. And they got the tunnels under the city, so everybody gets to these plays. Everybody loves Indianapolis. They have every big event there. It's amazing. The Speedway as well. We can't forget that. The Dolphins, of course, have major problems in the quarterback department, Scotty. I don't know what happened to Mike McDaniel. We used to play some pretty good clips from him. And now I'm not sure if it's just that he doesn't sleep anymore or if he's hitting the pipe. I got no idea what's happened to Mike. Here he is talking about
Is he a pipe dreamer? Is he a pipe dreamer? That's okay if he is.
Yeah, it's possible. The offense scoring 3 points in Seattle last week. Let's see if he can get it out.
I was surprised by a bunch of things. I think you go into a game planning for more than 3 points. I think there was some surprising moments within that game from the quarterback play from Skyler. I didn't know that he wished he could have back, just the same as I think it's important to not take anything for granted and to be extremely accountable and critical across the board, including yourself.
What?
Yeah, it's the same thing I told you. My doctor told me today. Said I got to stop smoking meth and crack if I want to survive all of my heart maladies and heart surgeries. He's telling me to put down the pipe. Meanwhile, Carver High promoting the pipe on C2C as a resounding yes. Flower to help all those in the community, including good old Mike, who's gone Miami Vice on us.
He just always seems so kind of spaced out now. Like he's just out there. Like what's going on? I know he's talked about it. He's talked about his lack of sleep in the past. I think that's what it is. When you get into season, you don't sleep a lot. There's a lot of things going on.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. Brady, I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
So you're telling me that Odell Beckham still gets paid to play in the National Football League? He's actually on a team and is receiving paychecks and is allegedly involved in winning. I'm not seeing that. Where does he play? Miami? You're kidding, right?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. And that was also from Mike's presser yesterday. Of course, OBJ is eligible to come back next week. And he has seen progress in him. Progress. So maybe there's a chance you might actually see him playing in a game at some point, Scotty. It's possible that you might see Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, I think
I'm
you'll
not
see.
sure, but it's possible.
I think you're going to see nothing because their quarterbacks are all so awful. I think Huntley's, isn't he on there now? He's not bad. So maybe he can find Beckham. He's done it before in Baltimore with him. So right now, they don't have anyone that can throw to him. They have no one with capable skills.
They need someone who can throw to Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle first. Forget OBJ. He's like the the low plate on that food chain. There's other guys that need to get the rock in their hands long before him. Whenever he comes back, they're not playing till Monday night. They have Tennessee at home. What a barn burner this will be. Dolphins minus 1.5, 36.5 is the total in this game. Man, Tennessee's been so bad, Scotty. They've been so bad. Oh, they've been so bad.
But at least Dirty Harry Callahan's been good, giving us quality sound bites, ripping his players. What's next?
Yeah.
He's going to start ripping the city. I think they're going to lose this game. I think Miami, you know what? Who knows? Because they don't are they playing Huntley? Is he going to be the starter now?
They have not officially said that. They have not said that officially. So if Huntley is playing, I will take the Dolphins. Yeah. And I think that's why this has swung a little bit. Wasn't this 1.5 the other way the other day? And this has now moved to 1.5 for the Dolphins. I think that the word is that it's going to be him. And once they make that official, I'll be in. Because Tennessee stinks. They stink. And I know they won here last year, man. The big comeback last year on a Monday night game against the Dolphins. That's not happening this time. They're awful. Awful football team. So I'm with you.
They sure are. I did want to add that I watched that McNair murder on whatever Netflix. It was good. The whole deal,
Oh, the documentary about it? Yes. They did the big documentary about the
girlfriend did it, right? Like his girlfriend killed him.
I have not watched. I have not watched.
Spoiler alert.
No, I have not seen any of it. So, but they've got a couple good ones that have come out recently, and that I've heard is one of them. Travis Kelce says that he's not worried about his stats. Winning's what matters. He's barely been involved in the Chiefs games through the first 3 weeks, but He says it doesn't matter because they're winning. I told you after the first game, it's pretty clear what the deal is here now. The regular season doesn't matter to him. He just basically is just going through the motions until they get to playoff time. Because all of a sudden, in the playoffs last year, he was a Hall of Fame player again. In the regular season, he's just not. He's just not anymore. He doesn't care.
Well, and who's to blame him? They win the Super Bowl every year. So he's got 3 rings, and he's sleeping with Taylor Swift. And I don't think she's sharing money with him yet, nor does he need money. He makes a lot of money himself, not in her stratosphere. But, I got to be honest with you, bro. If you marry her, there's got to be some kind of deal here that you're getting points on this marriage. I mean, this chick's worth billions of dollars. You got to get even a 0.05% clip of her cash. And I can see why he's not paying attention on Sundays. Like, if my goal was to get a piece of that money, which, some people are ruthless and evil like that. I know a bunch of them. I know a bunch of people just like that. I really do. Ruthless money people. Christ, don't get me started. But I think his goal is to get her money and be ruthless and evil and sleep with her and marry her so he can get that 0.05% piece of her billions. And then it won't matter how many Super Bowl rings he's got. Do you really see them being married for life? I mean, she reminds me of like J-Lo. She's going to go through a few of them, and he'll be cast out into the sea like ashes at a crematorium. Honestly, she'll dump him and sing 50 songs about him.
I don't know. She's gone through quite a few already to write all those songs, right? She's had a lot of ex-boyfriends. It might be time to settle down. It just might be. It might be time to settle down and count all that money. It's possible that that's what's going to happen for those two.
I hope she starts eating junk food in the luxury suites because, it's either that or some sandwiches. She needs to put some weight on. She's a little bony for me.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. Brady, I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Crew has already clinched the National League Central. They're 2 games behind LA, that being the Dodgers, trying to maybe get the 2nd seed in the National League standings for October.
Both of these teams have a chance to score some runs against these pitching matchups, so maybe another over, even though we do have a playoff atmosphere. And yes, Milwaukee did clinch, but there's still an eye on the prize of we might be able to chase down the Dodgers and also the Phillies to get one of those buys.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.